Hey, what's up, everybody? You're listening to the voice of Michael Martin. I'm coming to you guys today to tell you a story about a revolutionizing service, application, and program that was designed specifically for barbers and barbershops, and also designed to help make the use of time more efficient for all their clients and all their staff and themselves in the process. All right. So, first and foremost, before I get started, if you are a barber, a beautician, a stylist, or just in the hair industry in general, I want to first just say thank you for all that you guys do. You guys literally help make the world a better looking place. Also, if you're a client and you like to get your hair cut or styled, I want to say thank you as well. Without you, there would be no hair to cut or to style. All right. So before I move into the story, I want to just be unapologetic in saying this is going to be a live recording. So excuse me in advance if there's any fumbles or, mishaps as I'm talking. I want you guys to hear how the authenticity of my voice. Yeah, that's one of those big words, authenticity. I want you to hear the intensity of what I'm saying so you can really feel this. It's a powerful story, okay? So let me get right to it. As a kid, I can remember always just being a fan, an advocate of the barbershop. I always just loved the ambiance, the conversations, the total experience. I wanted to be that little kid that swept the hair off the floor and helped take out the trash. I just enjoyed the entire environment of the barbershop. I truly enjoyed just getting in the barber's chair and getting ready to have him put the cape on you, and he puts the little white part of that I don't know what you call it, but it goes behind your neck, and just the anticipation of getting a fresh haircut and a crispy lining. I just loved it. Okay. And so as I became older, I grew from a young teenager to a grown working family and businessman. I just didn't have the ability to sit and wait around for several hours at the barbershop. That eventually just timed out, no pun intended. Now, I'm a very, very patient and easygoing person, but I used to work in retail, and for several years, I would literally find myself going and sitting and waiting at the barbershop, and sometimes I would go early in the morning before having to go to work, and there were times where I literally would wait so long that I would be late getting to work. Now, keep in mind, my hair looked great and I was fresh, but I was running behind or trying to rush, hoping I wouldn't get a ticket or get, pulled over just to go get that fresh haircut. And then there were many times where I would go early in the morning to get a haircut, and I might have waited, and still couldn't get in. And so I would just go, have to leave and go to work and maybe come back and try to get a haircut another day. So eventually, I wanted to come up with a solution for what I was experiencing. And so I decided to gravitate towards more of a appointment-based barber, someone that, could schedule me in advance, and then I could kind of go around my schedule. Well, that was working pretty good for a while. I was actually going to a shop that was right up the street from where I worked at, so I could actually schedule an appointment on my lunch break. And it was going pretty good for a while, until the barber just became a little inconsistent. He was a great barber, may I add, really good, was very good at and skilled at what he did. However, there would be times where I couldn't get a hold of him. So he kind of operated where once he booked up for the week, or if he was booked for the day, he just wouldn't respond to you. And so it was kind of very, very frustrating, where if I really wanted a haircut, I would either have to resort back to going and sitting and waiting, or I just might not have the availability in my schedule. And so I kept working with him until I guess one day, the straw that broke the camel's back is when I wanted to get a haircut for my birthday. So I reached out to him well in advance, and he never responded. And so I waited to hear a response, and he never got back to me. So finally, I would say out of desperation, the day of my birthday, I reached out one more time, and he didn't respond. And man, I was pissed. So I actually had a relative through marriage. He had a barbershop, and I seen this, work on Facebook or Instagram, and he seemed to be pretty good. So I reached out to his shop, and I, was able to get a hold of him, and I found out that, they had some availability. He said if I came in right now, I would be the next person that he could get in the chair. So keep in mind, it's a Saturday, about 3:00. I just knew the barbershop was going to be booked. So when he told me that, I was like, hallelujah, hallelujah. I felt like God opened up the pearly gates to the barbershop heavens, and I was going to get my fresh haircut so I could look good on my birthday. And so that was kind of, a great experience. So I thought, okay, I'll keep going back. Now, I had never went there before because I was very loyal to the shop, that I was already going to, the barber. I'm pretty loyal. I try to stick with the same person and patronize, the people that I'm working with. But since the opportunity presented itself, I started going to my cousin's shop. Now, keep in mind, that was just, I guess, ironic that I was able to get in the way I did on that Saturday. So 2 weeks later, I said, I'm going to go again. And man, do you know, I waited, no lie, for almost 6 hours. That's not even including the time that, that I was getting my actual haircut. So almost, let's say 7 hours of going through a process of waiting to get a haircut. So I was like, man, I guess I lucked up the first time. So, it was all right. So I said, okay, what I'll do, I'll try to maybe come in early in the morning, use my old, tactics and come in early. Well, I got there early the next go around, and I was probably the first car in the lot. And then little did I know, here are a few other cars that pulled up. So one of the people, I guess, figured they'll just get out the car, and they stood at the actual door. And then the other cars, the person sat in the car. So when my cousin finally arrived to open up the shop, he asked the infamous question, who was first? And all at the same time, we all said, I. Well, to kind of, prevent a conflict, and I didn't have much going on that day, I went ahead and let the other people go ahead of me or whatever. It was what it was. And so I said, okay, how can I still make this a better experience? So my cousin, he mentioned to me that he actually did appointments throughout the week. It was a little bit slower. I can maybe come in throughout like a Wednesday or a Tuesday, and that way it might be less of a wait, with me having a busy schedule. And so he, what he didn't tell me was his appointments wasn't technically true appointments. It was almost like when you get to the shop, he tell you a time to get there, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to get in at that time to get the haircut. You might be 2 or 3 people. So it wasn't as long of a 6-hour wait, but it was still an hour and a half wait. So it is, like I said, what it is. And so I was sitting there and I was thinking, I was like, man, I just see a lot of people going through the same experience that I'm going through. And I feel like, there has to be a solution to this. So I started to kind of come up with some ideas. I put my thinking cap on, and I started brainstorming different things that they could implement. Like they had a list that people signed in on, but you had to come to the shop. And sometimes there was a lot of people already on the list. So I said, what if there was a way that there could be a digital version of a list, a way where people could actually sign in while being away from the barbershop, and they wouldn't have to harass or bug the barber and ask them how many heads they had, and they could actually be given notifications or be given a call or text when to come in, and they could just streamline everything. And I started seeing that, the importance of time. People value their time, whether it's with their family or, maybe they're working, maybe they own a business, maybe they're in school or whatever. And it's not always feasible for them to be able to sit. Even though the barbershop is a phenomenal atmosphere, great place, talk sports, talk, politics, whatever it might be. It's just sometimes people just don't have the time. So I started looking at it, I started paying attention to things that I saw, like when you call into, to pay a bill, they can say, hey, we can put you in line and we can call you back when it's your turn. I start seeing, restaurants have wait lists and all these other type of businesses. So I said, why not implement that same type of technology at the barbershop? So I started to pursue the idea. I aggressively started working on different ideas, meeting with different people that worked in technology. And I ran across a gentleman out of Chicago who actually had the technology and a similar prototype of what I was looking for. I talked to him about my vision, my idea, and we came together, we joined forces, and we came up with this wait list known as Barber-Q. And it's been hitting the ground running. Since we got going with it. I talked to all the barbershops that I personally have went to here in my local market, and all of those barbershops signed up for it, and they truly love it. The clients love it, and it's been really a godsend, if you ask me. And so what I wanted to do is just really express to you guys. If you see my screen, you probably see, like I said, you see a bunch of notifications, things popping up. And I told you this was going to be a live, raw video because I wanted to just be transparent. I wanted to be real, so you guys can really understand where I'm coming from. And what I want to do, I want to talk more in depth to your shop about how this waitlist works. It's just a different way of looking at it. I know some barbers work off appointments, and you can still incorporate this with the appointments. You can still do everything that you're doing. This only enhances the experience. If you currently, maybe you have appointments, but on weekends, you could take more clients. This will be something that would allow you to really monopolize off of the opportunity. And so once again, I want you guys to really hear how excited I am about this. I want to really push this out there going into 2019 into 2020. I want your shop to benefit. I want you to see the benefits of the wait list and of the service. So I'm going to send a video. If you watch this video first, I'm going to send you a video of a demo of how the wait list works. In the meantime, you can go to our website at www.barber-q.com. Once again, that's www.barber-q.com. And that's spelled BARBER, a dash sign, the letter Q.com. And get with me. Hopefully you like this video. Hopefully it gets you intrigued enough to want to know more. And if you also want to contact me directly, you can call me. You can call me via phone on my business line at 314-349-7373. Once again, that's 314-349-7373. I wanted to, like I said, give you a story so you can see how this all kind of came up and you can relate to it. So take care, God bless, and I'll see you guys at the top. Thank you.